Okay, so my first video didn't save, so I'll repeat the steps here. If you need to calculate this r squared thing, that's called the coefficient of determination. The coefficient of determination helps explain the percent of the fluctuation that happens in the y variable based on the linear model. Okay, so it sounds like a bunch of mumbo jumbo, but it basically says like, hey, we can draw a line through this data set, and the amount of fluctuation in the y variable is going to be explained by the least squares regression equation, like how closely it fits that straight line. The percent of of like how much the y variable changes, the percentage that's covered by the least squares regression equation is r squared. But we'll do that interpretation again here in just a second. The way I calculated this was I grabbed my data set. Uh-oh, I think my internet's gone down. Perfect timing. Okay, well, I grabbed my data set, and this is what it is over here. Okay, and I'll repeat these steps too. So if you copy and paste your data set into Excel or Google Sheets, Google Sheets is free and it's online, so that might make it a good choice. Then you want to find an empty cell. You can type in equals Corel. And this is going to calculate r, not r squared. Okay, but you'll probably need to know how to do both for the homework. But find an empty cell, type equals Corel, and then you can click and drag for the first column, then put a comma and click and drag for the second column. With correlation coefficients, it doesn't matter which one comes first and which one comes second. It would be the same thing. That's what r is, not r squared. If I need to calculate what r squared is, I just need to take the number 0.9823134 and square it. And that's r squared in its decimal form. So my final answer is when I convert that out of decimal form to a percentage. Okay, so that's how I got 96.49%. And so what does the value of r squared mean? Again, it means the percent of the variance in the y variable in sales that can be accounted for by the regression equation, basically. So watch out though, I got it wrong the first time. I didn't see that they want 2 decimal places for r squared, but then here they want no decimal places. So if you round 96.49% to the nearest whole number, it's 96. And some students would get tricked and say it's 97 because they'd say, hey, the 9 rounds the 4 up to a 5 and the 5 rounds the 6 up to a 7. But when you round, you only look at one digit to the right. The whole number is 6 and the digit to the right is a 4. We ignore the 9 when we're rounding. Okay, so that's why 96 was the correct answer for that part. And that's why we chose the second one, because the percent of variance in the y variable in the sales.